Full workout, you can easily do at home, challenges hips, shoulders, other good movement patterns that actually carry over to how your body functions in the surf. I'm Cris Mills from surfstrengthcoach.com, teaming up with the crew from Rusty Middle East to bring you guys this workout you can easily do at home, minimal equipment, challenges mobility, get into some stretch, warm-up routines, some dynamic mobilizations, because you gotta move well. The crux of you being able to function well, kind of injury-free, and then layering on performance is how well do the joints of the body move. Mobility needs to precede strength, performance, endurance. So we'll get into that, and then dive into a couple movements that really challenge multi-directional strength and control. And then finish it up with some shoulder stuff, because if you are surfing or not surfing much, you really need to make sure the shoulders have endurance and function appropriately. So let's get into it. We're going to start with mobility. Now for this whole workout, you can either do it all as a circuit. Mobility drills, then strength, then the shoulder, and then repeat that circuit. Or you can chunk it, mobility drills first, then strength protocols, and then finish with shoulders. It's up to you. You can kind of run through it either way you'd like. So we start with kind of this basic shin box, where we're looking for this 90 degree position. And we start going into good active shin boxes, and then we're going to start adding in a spine rotation, where I'm really looking to lengthen upright the spine. So I'm integrating hip internal and external rotation, as well as getting some length and rotation through the spine. You can add another layer of control by rotating through. I'll have crew do anywhere from 5 to 10 per side. Then we go into a good warrior lunge, but we're gonna add a little extra to this. So big step back, right? To where this back leg is in extension, good hip position. I sink down. If you've got the knee range of motion, we wanna challenge this dorsiflexion. So it's actually okay to bring your knee over the toes if you have the range of motion. A key here is that I don't hyperextend the low back. So I keep this kind of canister, this torso control, it's core control. I step back, I sink down, coming into some knee over toes. I lengthen. So I reach not back, but up, to the side, to the other side, slightly angle over the front foot and drive through the front foot to stand tall. Alternate. Canister, no hyperextension. Cool, I can bring that knee over the toes a bit. Now, if you've got knee problems or you don't have this range of motion through ankle or knee, you can be more stacked position here. That's totally cool. For the strength circuits, you're gonna want a dumbbell if you got it. You can hold on to like a gallon of milk, whatever, some type of resistance. You can also do a body weight, and you will need an exercise ball. So we're gonna go single leg deadlift. Key with this, the stance leg is working. Slight bend in the knee, do not lock out, but we don't wanna excessively drive the hip forward or the knee forward. And the non-working leg, the heel is reaching back. Cool? So in this position, I do not excessively bend the knee. And I think of reaching this heel back, and it drives me into hip flexion. And I drive up through this support leg. So not only is it working on three-dimensional hip control, but you get a lot of torso and core integration with that hip. You're also working on a lot of balance and strength. So we can start adding a load. Really good drill. One key is that you do not open this hip up. I do not drive back an airplane. That's cheating. It's taking the load off the hip muscles. From here, drop 8 to 10 reps per leg. Do this barefoot to get the foot muscles doing its job. You would switch sides. A progression, or not really a progression, but something that's more dynamic that you could replace the single leg deadlifts with, if you can master those, is this kind of pendulum swing where I'm working on this more or less shrimp squat position. So I'm sharing this spring action with knee and hip, and then I'm pendulum. So I'm not shoulder like raising. It's not a shoulder flexion drill, a lateral raise. It is momentum generated from the leg. And this front leg is doing all the work, and the back leg is just a kickstand. This is one of the drills we get to in advanced stages of the 12-week Surf Athlete program. And if done well, this should fire up the hip muscles. So you do both legs, single leg deadlifts, 8 to 12 reps a leg, add some resistance, or pendulum swings. You can do those up to about 15 repetitions. We then come into the core movement. So this core exercise challenges multiple aspects of core control. The key is that you remain stable. Cool? So nice cylinder posture, meaning this torso stays nice and aligned. No hyperextension at any time. If you hyperextend, you've just lost the connection of this anterior abdominal chain. So think nice cylinder and control.
So this drill is all about core stability. It's a roll out to pike position, and it's about maintaining spinal alignment. So I roll back, maintaining abdominal control, so I don't drop into extension, and then I come up into a pike. You can see I get a little too much rounding in my lumbar spine at the top of that pike position because I have some tension through the hamstrings. But I'm going to switch to a different video so we get into a bit more detail about the spinal stabilization. Here you'll see what I'm talking about. See, I drop into extension. I'm no longer stabilizing the spine, and that was too much flexion. So I want to keep this neutral posture. Even as I drop back, I do not drop into extension like that. I need to maintain this cylinder of core stability as I go through the movement. If you're unable to go into the pike position, you simply perform the rollout to a jackknife. And again, you're maintaining spinal alignment and stability throughout this process. Good posture, good alignment, not changing lumbar spine position as you roll out or as you do the jackknife. Here you'll see me demo a bad posture. See how I dropped into extension there? Too much extension, good stability in that position, but too much rounding as I pull into the jackknife. And here is a good, clean, neutral position.
Lastly, some shoulder and spine endurance essentially. Some type of canned vegetable or soup. This is canned coconut cream actually. You can even use some small bottles of water and a ball. So get set up with your feet against a wall, right? You need a little bit of support. And the further the ball is to the hips, the harder the load's going to be on the upper back. So you can adjust this as you need based on your abilities. So cans, you're going to move them in opposite directions. So it'd be here, it'd be here, it'd be here. And I want you to think thumb to ceiling. So at first, we come up into extension, fly. Extension, fly, extension, fly. If you get fatigued, again, you can move the ball. You want high repetition and control. I'm looking for probably somewhere around 20 repetitions. I come down, fly, hold, fly, hold. Nice chin tuck position, so don't go into like computer neck posture. Fly, hold. If you get fatigued, again, we want high repetition, so you move the ball to put less load on the spinal erectors, or you drop the cans of soup and go to just hands. Think of how many increments you can hit. So it's not just 3 positions necessarily. There could be a lot more little kind of clock face positions you can hit. Just be careful of coming straight up, because sometimes that can be hard on somebody if they kind of have some shoulder issues going on. You can alternate sides. And you can even add some pulses. And those pulses are going to absolutely start to smoke a shoulder. So there you go. Series of movements from mobilization to dynamic strength to postural and shoulder endurance. These are all things, movement characteristics that actually carry over to what you ask of your body in the water in terms of the loads placed through the lower body, the energy demands. This is actually carrying over to your surfing without being overly surf functional fitness. So if you really dig it, again, check out the Surf Athlete app, full 12-week program. You will learn some really key fundamentals to keeping yourself fit, capable, and healthy for the long term. And again, so it does carry over to your time in the water. Thanks for checking it out. Again, I'm Cris Mills. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And keep an eye out. We'll have a lot more content coming.